Many farm operations pay for labor in the form of non-cash compensation. And with the special tax rules applying to agriculture, producers often look for guidance on whether commodity wages are subject to W-2 form reporting. Well, joining us now for today's Rural Money segment is Roger McEowen with the Washburn University School of Law. Good morning, Counselor. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's revisit the definition of wages and their tax treatment.
Well, good morning, John. Good to be with you. And this is an important issue because, again, this shows us how agricultural law and especially agricultural taxation is really law and tax by the exception because there's a different rule that applies. Under the Internal Revenue Code, a wage meets the definition of wages if it is the cash value of all remuneration paid in any medium other than cash. Then it's in the definition of wages, except that it doesn't include commodity wages paid to agricultural labor. So if it's in that medium other than cash as an ag commodity, it doesn't meet the technical definition of wages under the code.
Are commodity wages subject to Form W-2 reporting then?
Well, the answer is technically no. Even though Form W-2 doesn't have to be filed to report commodity wage payments, I think there are still good reasons to do so. And the reason I say they're not subject to W-2 reporting is because of that definition that I gave you a moment ago. Now keep this in mind. Why do we want to file a W-2 and why is it important, even though we don't have to file it for commodity wages? That W-2 filing is necessary to allow the taxpayer to e-file the tax return. So that's a key consideration for a lot of people. Plus, it helps the recipient of the commodity wage determine the correct amount of wages to report on line 1. Plus, if they don't get a W-2, they may not know the value of the commodity on the date of payment. And it also helps the recipient of the commodity determine their correct basis in the grain or the other commodity that when they sell it, when they calculate gain or loss on their return. So there are still good reasons to file a W-2, even though it's technically not required for commodity wages.
Well, Roger, is there anything producers need to be aware of when deciding whether to pay agricultural wages in kind?
Well, I think one thing is that when you pay ag wages in kind, it might threaten the ag employee's eligibility for disability benefits, and it might reduce or eliminate their retirement benefits. So that's a consideration out there to keep in mind. When you pay somebody in commodity wages, they don't build up retirement or disability credit under the Social Security system. So for that reason, many ag employers agree to pay part of the wages in cash and part in kind, and that cash portion will get credited for purposes of quarters of coverage that they need for disability benefits and for purposes of retirement benefits. So that's a big consideration.
Roger McEowen is with Washburn University School of Law. Thank you very much for joining us, Roger.